How's it going, YouTube? It's me, the Supervillain Doom, finally back with some more Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 content, and apologize for the lack of videos recently. It's been, a pretty busy couple of months, but, it's finally time to start making videos again, and shit's definitely been going down for Marvel ever since I've been gone. For those of you who may not have heard, Marvel made it into EVO as a main game this year, which is unreal. I would never have imagined that back when I started playing in 2021. But it's all because of the special supporters like yourself for supporting Marvel all the way through. So I appreciate you very much. Special shout out to TNS and all that they do for the Marvel community because, ladies and gentlemen, we're back like we never left. And it's definitely going to be a great year for Marvel, and I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching this video, any of my other videos. Thank you for playing Marvel, playing in TNS, whatever, watching TNS, because your support is what pushes us to make big things happen. So with that out of the way, thank you again, and let's get right into today's video. So today's video is going to be a bit different from most of my normal content, and it's because we're going to be trying to answer a question I've had recently of which side would be better if you could only choose Capcom or if you could only choose Marvel in Marvel 3, there have been a lot of good Marvel only teams like Magneto, Doom, Phoenix, and a lot of good Capcom only teams like, the infamous Zero May Cry, but each side has their respective bottom tiers like, Shenko, Phoenix Wright, things like that for Capcom, and Iron Man. Dude, fuck Iron Man. I could end the video here and say that Capcom wins because they don't have Iron Man, but either way, makes it pretty difficult to discern the better side from what we've seen. So how am I going to answer this question? Well, in order to avoid a 40-minute video essay, I'm going to try to answer this question objectively using numbers. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, place your bets. Alright, so what I've got here is kind of the data set for today's thesis. This is a ratio chart made by the good people over at Tampa Never Sleeps. Shout out to them again. And I definitely trust the experts here with their opinion. So we know that this is a pretty fine data set to be working with. And what this essentially says, I won't go into what a ratio tourney is, but what this essentially says is each character has a point value, and that point value reflects kind of how good they are, taking everything into account, assists, how they anchors, whatever. But yeah, that's essentially it. And one thing I'd like to add is that I have substituted this X value for Virgil because you don't want Virgil in ratio tourneys. That would fuck everything up. If it says it's an X here, but I gave him a value of 8. Just for the sake of the video, and so that he can fit in kind of our analysis. But I don't know how other people would treat that, but I don't think anyone else is gonna make some dumb bullshit like this. And with that said, let's go over to Excel. So I got 3 different tests to figure out who is better between both of these sides. So this is test number 1. This is number 2. Test number 3. So here's test number 1, which is just, as you can see down here, the basics. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to, I have all these scores laid out here on both sides for Capcom and Marvel, and we're just going to say equals sum of this whole data set. And then do that for both sides. So Capcom adds up to 93. And Marvel, see what it, and whoever has a higher score here, it will be the winner of round 1. And so here we go for Marvel. 92 and 93. Damn, nail biter thing. 1 point dub. That's interesting because Capcom is the only side with 1 point characters, and a lot of them too. But looks like Marvel has a lot more mid tiers than Capcom over here. So really close game 1. But we can say here that Capcom takes the W. And so, with that said, let's get right on over to test number 2. Alright, heading on over to test number 2. A lot of crazy bullshit going on that I'll explain in just a minute, but this will be our statistical analysis. And so, in this one is a bit special. It's got 5 different tests, and whoever takes the best of 5 here between these is going to be deemed the champion of this round. So, going back to this, you see all these divide by zeros. So here I have each score for each character listed as a function of x, natural log of x, and so x is going to be the value of their actual point value divided by the average of the entire data set. So if you take a natural log of like a fraction less than 1, you're going to get a negative value. And if it's greater than 1, you're going to get a positive value. So the same thing kind of applies. The worse you are, the more you're kind of fucking it up for your team. But this way it'll be a bit more, I don't know, like accurate for each side. And there's a lot more at stake here. And, you know, you might have seen this natural log thing with something like the Henderson-Hasselbalch equation, but we're not going to get into all that dumb bullshit. So let's just get right back to business here. First thing we're going to do is fix all this by calculating the average of each side. And so this is going to equal the average of all these different values. Whoever wins this, or whoever has a higher average, is going to win the first test here. And then let me see what I reference this to, F29. So now we go, average of, this will be the average of Marvel. As we can see, I got both labels up here. It shows that Capcom takes the dub once again for this first test here. That makes sense based on what we saw last round, but you know, I won't count Marvel out just yet, but the comeback better happen soon. So yeah, a bunch of different values here, and now we're gonna run statistical analysis based on these values. So here we got our standard deviation, which is pretty simple command. You just do stdev of all this crazy bullshit. And then we're going to want a low value here, because the lower the value is, the more, like, the better representation of data you have. So that means that the winner for this round is going to... Shit, what did I just do? Hold on. Major technical difficulties. Let's try that again. Okay, yeah, there we go. So, lower standard deviation is Marvel here, so that's the first dub for Marvel. Congratulations, but let's keep going here. 95% confidence interval. I don't remember what this shit means, but I know that you want a lower one. So whoever has a lower between this is gonna be the winner of this round. Let me quick check my notes here. This is gonna be equal to TINV 0.05 because it's 95%, and then degrees of freedom should be 1 because we just have one data set here. And then we're going to multiply all this by the standard deviation. I'm probably going to need more parentheses here in a minute. Multiply that by the standard deviation, then divide it by the square root of n, where n is the number of terms that we have, and that should be 25 for each side because there are 25 Marvel and 25 Capcom. And this gives us a confidence interval of 1.45. I don't know what that means, but good for Capcom. So now we have the same thing on this side. Then 1 degree of freedom multiplied by the standard deviation, and all of that over 5. I might need another parenthesis here just for formality. And Marvel takes the dub here once again. Would you look at that? So that's 2 dubs for Marvel. But this is a best of 5, so if Marvel takes the dub here, then Capcom loses this round. But let's see if we go to game 5 real quick. confidence interval for a single measurement is just going to be this same formula, but not divided by 5, because this will just be for one thing. So let me just copy and paste this. Shit, I did everything wrong. Okay, hold on. Okay, cool. And then again, I think we're gonna want something lower here for each side. So this is gonna be this formula. And Marvel takes the dub here as well. So Marvel wins this one. We'll denote that down here. But just for shits, let's do this last test here. So this is just gonna be, let me look at my notes, equals minus of, let's see, if this is for Capcom, then this is gonna be, no, we want, okay, hold on. This is gonna be this, comma, this, comma, true. That gives us all that bullshit, and then do the same thing over here. Probably should have done this. Sorry for this major lack of content here, but there we go. I don't remember what any of this shit means, but it doesn't matter because Marvel wins this round anyway. So yeah, that's great. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to represent what like a graph of this might look like, but we'll never know because Marvel takes the W here. So that's 1-1 on both sides. So that leaves us to our final test. Oh, okay, last test. I'm sorry. This is not having a great time here, and I'm probably doing all of this shit wrong, by the way. I hope YouTube doesn't put me under like I hope YouTube doesn't put this video under like education, because like that'd be pretty bad. But at last, we're at our last test, and I know how excited you guys are that you know, Capcom won the confidence interval battle, but here we are at our last test, and this is going to be a Simpsons rule approximation of each of these different graphs. So let's get on into this. So here we have the same data set for last time, except I have this little quadrant of 4s and 2s, because we're gonna estimate the integral of this curve here, plotted by these x values and these y values, and we'll actually let's start off by making a graph of each of these. So we're gonna go into insert here. We're gonna take all this, and we're gonna say make a scatter plot. So this is the Capcom graph. We're gonna be integrating from here to here. So all this area and all this area, and then here we'll make one of these for Marvel. They kind of look. This one looks a bit different. That one looks kind of. That is actually like an ugly ass graph. What happened here? Either way, it doesn't really matter. We're gonna be approximating the integral of each of these graphs, and whoever has a higher value will be our champion. So let's keep those right there for right now. But that'll be what we're working with here. So we have our first thing is going to be our delta x, and that's going to equal. So this one doesn't have any subtests. This is just whoever has the best. Actually, I guess it does kind of, because you have these error bounds, but we'll get into all that bullshit later. So right now we have delta x is equal to this is going to be this value minus this lowest value, and this is just, I've added this 0 category because it's not going to add to either side of this, but it makes it so that we can so that we have an even number, because you have to have an even number for Simpsons rule, which is just common knowledge. You didn't know that? What the fuck is wrong with you? But here we got our delta x, which is going to be equal to 8 minus 0, which is just going to be 8, over 26, because that's the number of things that we got here. And then we're going to take this and divide it by 3, because that's what you do for Simpsons rule. So that's our delta x, and then here is our equals 8 minus 0, or 6 minus 0. So that's going to be over the same number. Then over 3. So that's going to be our other one as well. Okay. So with that said, now we can do this. Let me take a quick look at my notes here. Okay, so this one's pretty simple. You just kind of go equals this multiplied by this. Wait, no, this is wrong. Actually, no, this is right. Okay. So yeah, we do this times this, and we just go ahead and drag this all the way down. This will give us our Simpsons error approximations. We're gonna have to move this real quick so that we can do the same thing over here. Times that. Okay. Then what we do here is we say that our approximation is going to be equal to the sum of all of this. Shit, what happened? The sum of all this, and then multiply that by delta x. So that's what it is for Capcom over here. And then for Marvel, we do the same thing. Sum of all this times delta x. And here we can see, so these are both negatives. And so, yep, Marvel sure enough takes the dub here. For this category, but let's just go ahead and see what our error is, because maybe we're gonna have to do another test, because our error might be pretty fucked up. So here we have our maximum value of the fourth derivative of the function. So the fourth derivative of natural log of x, let me see here, is -6 over x to the fourth. So if our max value is 8 divided by the average, then we're going to have to do equals -6 over, shit, okay, wait, hold on. Yeah, okay. 8 divided by 3.72 to the 4th power. So that's our max, I think. Yeah, cool. Okay, and on the fourth derivative, of course. But here's the same thing, but for this side, is going to be -6 over 6 over this average. More parentheses there. To the 4th power. Okay, so that's our max on each side. And here we have our error bound, which is going to be equal to the Simpsons error approximation, which is the max value here, times b minus a, which is this value minus this value, 8 in this case. Then we're going to have to, wait, we're gonna make that 8 to the 5th, and then divided by 180 times 26, which is our number of points, to the 4th power. why. Hold on. This is kind of interesting. Okay, yeah, I see what I did wrong. Okay, so that's our error for this one, and we're gonna do that, but over here this time, it's just gonna be equals our max value of the fourth derivative multiplied by 6, and then, or 6 to the 5th, excuse me, and then all of this over, what do we do? Okay, yeah, 180 times 26 to the 4th power. And that gives us some really small bullshit that is a lot less than this, for sure. But I'd say that's a pretty good error approximation for each side. So we're saying that this is a pretty accurate representation of everything going on here. And in that case, we're not going to have to do a retest, which is very nice. I'm kind of done with this video. And that means a dub for Marvel. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Marvel wins the statistical analysis and integral test, meaning that if you were to pick a team of only Capcom or only Marvel, you should pick Marvel. And there it is. The facts are right in front of you. So yeah, stop playing Capcom characters. They all suck. Morgan was never good. I don't know whoever told you that. Virgil, he's a pretty trash character. And, you know, Iron Man is still here, but he didn't fuck it up for the first time in his life. So give props to Iron Man for doing something right. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Marvel is the better side from what we've seen, and with that said, I appreciate you very much for watching. Thanks again, and subscribe for more content that, you know, looks like this dumb bullshit. Like, I'm sure you all want to see more of this, right? You know, more statistical analysis. But either way, appreciate you for watching, and with that said, I'll catch you guys around.